Hans here with BTTP, and as you guys can probably see, my freaking tire is shot. I've completely chonked out the heel side. I even have some of the steel threads showing, and this thing's leaking ooze everywhere and I let it sit for a while. So, me being the board and on a budget guy, I'm gonna show you guys how to change your tire as cheap as possible. So obviously the cheapest option is to find a friend with a stock Vega that he ripped off that's brand new and put that on. That won't cost you anything. People literally give these things away. If you don't have a friend from a group ride that has one, shout out to Jody for this particular one. Then I would go on the Facebook Marketplace or check Facebook groups because people literally give these things away all the time. But here's the actual secret. This is what I'm about ready to test out here and I'm really excited for. This is the Unilli, I think it's pronounced. I'm probably not pronouncing that right. Feel free to connect me in the comments below. But this thing, with shipping, was only $45. I will also put links below for the XR and the pint model. From what I can tell, it looks like it's going to be just as stable, if not more stable, than the Vega. However, it is slightly smaller, so I'm hoping to get more torque, and once the whole thing's pumped up, I'm hoping that it rounds off a little more as well, but I don't know. I'm testing it out. So stick around and we'll give it a review. And now comes the fun part where we actually get the beads to seat. And currently I have it sitting at 30 PSI or just above. And it looks like they mostly did go. I do use the ratchet strip trick because that does help apply outward pressure and makes the whole thing seat at a slightly lower PSI. I'm currently just above 40 PSI. And it looks like this thing is probably going to seat for me here. I don't think I'm going to have to take it up to 50. Which is great. So now I can release the tension on my strap here. Alright, next step is put this bad boy back together and then the fun part, cruising! Alright, we finally got this bad boy mounted up, we're ready to test it. I cannot lie, I actually did take her out for the maiden voyage last night because I was way too excited not to. First thoughts are gonna be, this actually did round off way more than I thought it was gonna. Out of the box, it was way squared off more than I thought it was gonna be carvable, but this thing actually handles better than the stock Vega, which is exciting. I also managed to get 5.9 miles out of my ride instead of the 5.4 that I would get on the stock. So even though they weigh about the same, it ended up being a little better. I'm not sure if that's because the smaller circumference of the tire makes for more torque, but that is also a separate point I'd like to talk about. It does add to the ride so much. For me being a heavier rider, and I'd rather not tap out this old Plus above 20 anyway, I can't say I really miss it. I really appreciate the faster acceleration and going up small bumps, not worrying about it dumping me every possible second. So, let's go for a cruise. One thing that I forgot to mention is this tire is definitely tackier and softer. It picks up a lot of stones and debris. However, I have much better traction. This thing's actually way more nimble than I thought, and I'm really appreciating this purchase. Honestly, I want to give it 4 out of 5 stars. This thing's freaking awesome. Still here at County Park, and we're gonna take this bad boy on some trail rides and see how well she holds. Initial input, I gotta say this thing's a little tackier, and the smaller diameter really makes my life a lot easier riding off-road. However, it is definitely picking up every piece of dirt on the trail. But all in all, I'm very happy for the price, so let's see how well she handles downhill.
Sir. Out here, ready to go.
Barely. So obviously I'm not much of a trail rider, but this tire does more than enough for me. And of course, it's not gonna be as good as a treaded tire, but I'm pretty happy with this thing all in all. Although I gotta admit, it wasn't quite as stable as the Vega off trail. But all in all, for how cheap it was, I'm extremely happy with it. Even though I'm slightly out of breath and I've fallen a few times on video, what do? We board through the pain!